Are you tired of sitting on the sidelines, watching others effortlessly navigate social situations while you stand there, awkward and unsure? You know the feeling, right? The one where you think, why is it so easy for everyone else, but not for me? Well, let me stop you right there. It's not them, it's you. I'm not here to coddle you with feel-good platitudes. I'm here to call you out. You're not bad at talking to people. You're just terrified of stepping out of your comfort zone, and it's time to face it. You're hiding behind excuses, convincing yourself that you're not the social type or shy, and I'm here to tell you, that's absolute bullshit. So here's the million-dollar question. What's it costing you to keep pretending you don't have the power to change this? Stop lying to yourself and start asking the real questions that will actually move the needle. You can keep playing small and complaining, or you can start owning your shit and level up. The choice is yours, but you're wasting your time if you don't act now. Ready to stop waiting for confidence to magically appear? Let's dive in, and I'll show you exactly why that mindset is holding you back from the conversations and connections you crave. Welcome to Self-Mastery Labs. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Why do you think you're bad at conversations? Let's rip the band-aid off. You're not bad at conversations because you're shy, introverted, or not a people person. You're bad at conversations because you've decided to be. Yeah, I said it. You've built this pity party narrative in your head, labeling yourself as socially inept because it's easier than doing the work to improve. Guess what? No one buys it. Your excuses are transparent, and worse, they're keeping you stuck. You've probably told yourself 100 times, I'm just not good at this stuff, it's just who I am. Oh, really? Is that the story we're sticking with? Because the last time I checked, babies aren't born with a natural gift for small talk. Nobody pops out of the womb knowing how to gracefully handle awkward silences or connect over shared interests. Social skills are just like any other skill. You practice, you fail, you learn. If you're not improving, it's because you've decided not to. Stop blaming your personality. It's not your personality that's the problem, it's your lack of effort. Here's the part that's going to sting. Every time you walk into a room and tell yourself, I'm not good at this, I'm bad at talking to people, you're not just lying to yourself, you're sabotaging yourself. That mindset becomes your reality. You're creating your own failure before you've even opened your mouth. You're not bad at conversations, you're bad at getting out of your own damn way. And let's talk about this. I'm an introvert excuse you love to lean on. Being an introvert doesn't mean you're incapable of connecting with others. It just means you might need to approach it differently. But no, instead of learning how to work with your temperament, you cling to it like a crutch. It's not a personality trait. It's laziness dressed up as self-awareness. You don't get to opt out of a basic life skill because it feels uncomfortable. That's not how growth works. Now, let me call you out on something else. You're not bad at talking to people when it serves you, are you? When you need to complain to customer service, you find the words. When you want something from someone, you magically figure out how to communicate. So don't tell me you're hopeless, you're selective. You're choosing when to care and when to check out and then blaming your nature for it. The real issue? You're afraid of rejection. You're so terrified of saying the wrong thing or looking stupid that you've decided it's safer to do nothing at all. But let me ask you this, how's that working out for you? Because last I checked, hiding in your comfort zone isn't exactly getting you the relationships, opportunities, or confidence you want. You're playing it safe, and safe is the enemy of growth. Here's the brutal truth. Nobody cares if you're awkward. Nobody is sitting there analyzing your every word, just waiting for you to screw up. They're too busy worrying about themselves. So stop making conversations all about you. That's your problem. You're so focused on how you're coming across that you forget the entire point of talking to someone. Connection. Instead of obsessing over what you're going to say, try listening for once. Ask questions. Be curious. People don't remember the smooth talker. They remember the person who made them feel heard. You don't need a sparkling personality or a Rolodex of witty one-liners to connect with someone. You just need to care. But caring takes effort, and if you're not willing to put that in, then yeah, you're gonna keep being bad at conversations. Let's be real. If you're bad at conversations, it's because you've never actually practiced. You avoid social situations, you cling to your phone like a life raft, and then you wonder why you feel disconnected. Newsflash: you can't get good at something you never do. So stop expecting to magically wake up one day as the life of the party. Put yourself out there. Say hi to a stranger. Compliment someone. Ask a coworker about their weekend. Yes, it's uncomfortable at first. That's the point. Growth is uncomfortable. And let me squash one more excuse while we're at it. But I don't know what to say. Yes, you do. You talk all the time. Online, in your head, to yourself. The problem isn't that you don't know what to say. The problem is that you overthink it until you talk yourself out of saying anything. Stop treating every conversation like it's a TED Talk. You're not being graded on originality or depth. Just be real. So here's the deal. You don't get to sit around complaining about how bad you are at conversations if you're not willing to do the work to change it. Stop blaming your personality, your past, or whatever convenient excuse you've come up with this week. Start showing up. Take the risk of saying the wrong thing, because you know what's worse than making a mistake in a conversation? Never having it in the first place. You're not bad at conversations. You're just bad at accountability. Fix that, and the rest will follow. Chapter 2. Why are you so obsessed with your comfort zone? Let's just get straight to it. Your comfort zone is a prison, and the only reason you're stuck there is because you've chosen to stay. Every single time you avoid talking to someone, dodge an opportunity, or tell yourself, this is just who I am, you're reinforcing the lie that staying safe is better than growing. It's not. Your comfort zone isn't saving you, it's suffocating you. And here's the worst part. You know it. Deep down, you know it. But instead of owning that truth, you cling to excuses like a lifeline. Stop it. Stop acting like your comfort zone is some sacred space that protects you from danger. It doesn't. It keeps you small. It keeps you invisible. It keeps you irrelevant. The only thing your comfort zone guarantees is that you'll stay exactly where you are, unsatisfied, disconnected, and quietly wondering why life feels so stagnant. And don't give me that, but I'm just shy, nonsense. Shyness isn't a personality trait, it's a habit. And like every habit, it can be broken if you're willing to do the work. But you're not, are you? Because work is uncomfortable. And that's the problem. You want the rewards of growth without the discomfort of change. You want to be better at conversations, but you're too scared to risk awkward silences. You want deeper connections, but you won't even introduce yourself to someone new. You want confidence, but you're too afraid to fail along the way. You don't want growth, you want convenience. Here's the truth you need to hear. Your comfort zone isn't protecting you from failure. It's guaranteeing it. Every time you choose to stay safe and avoid the slightest discomfort, you're training yourself to be afraid. Afraid of people, afraid of rejection, afraid of trying. Do you get that? You're literally programming your brain to fail by avoiding the very experiences that could help you succeed. And let's not pretend this is about protecting yourself from stress. You're not stressed. You're scared. You're scared of the unknown, scared of looking stupid, scared of not being perfect on the first try. But here's the reality. Nobody is perfect at first. Nobody gets it right every time. And nobody, absolutely nobody, is sitting around analyzing your every move the way you think they are. Newsflash: the world doesn't revolve around you. People are too busy worrying about their own insecurities to care about yours. So why are you so afraid to try? What's the worst that could happen? You stammer a bit? Someone doesn't respond the way you hoped? Big deal. That's not failure, that's life. And every single awkward moment is a step closer to getting better. Growth isn't supposed to feel good. It's supposed to stretch you, challenge you, make you question your limits. If it doesn't feel uncomfortable, you're not growing. You're coasting. Stop visualizing worst-case scenarios like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Stop imagining that every social interaction will end in disaster. What if, for once in your life, you imagined what could go right? What if you walked into a conversation thinking, this could be the start of something amazing, instead of assuming it will be awkward? You probably surprise yourself. But that requires effort, and effort requires you to leave your precious comfort zone. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it feels unnatural at first, but so what? Everything feels unnatural until it becomes second nature. Talking to people isn't some magical skill, it's a muscle, and you've let yours atrophy by avoiding every situation that forces you to flex it. Do you want to know the real reason you're obsessed with your comfort zone? It's because it gives you a built-in excuse for why you're not where you want to be. It lets you blame your circumstances instead of your choices. Oh, I'm just not outgoing. Oh, socializing isn't my thing. Bullshit. You've convinced yourself that staying comfortable is safer than risking failure. But here's the truth. Comfort is the real risk. It's the silent killer of dreams, potential, and connection. So what are you going to do? Sit there in your bubble, telling yourself you're just wired this way? Or are you going to get up, get out, and actually try? Stop romanticizing your excuses. Stop hiding behind your personality. Stop living in the tiny claustrophobic world you've built for yourself. Because while you're busy protecting your comfort zone, life is passing you by. The choice is yours. Stay stuck or step up. But don't complain about feeling unfulfilled if you're too scared to do the work. You're not trapped, you're just comfortable. And comfortable isn't good enough. Chapter 3. Why are you making conversations all about you? Nobody cares about how interesting, smart, or funny you think you are. They care about how you make them feel. And if you're the kind of person who hijacks every conversation just to talk about yourself, then congratulations, you're the problem. Stop pretending you're just sharing your thoughts or adding to the conversation. No, you're dominating it. You're steamrolling people with your stories, your opinions, your so-called insights, and then wondering why the vibe feels off. Guess what? The vibe is off because you're not connecting with anyone. You're performing. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. Conversations are not about you. They're not about showing off your impressive anecdotes or dropping clever lines to make yourself look cool. People don't care about your quirky personality or your 12-step plan for world domination. What they care about is how you make them feel. If you can't give them that, they'll walk away, and you'll keep wondering why nobody seems to stick around. You think being the loudest voice in the room makes you memorable? Wrong. What makes you memorable is making other people feel valued. People don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. But if all you're doing is waiting for your turn to talk or trying to outshine everyone, then you're not connecting. You're just inflating your own ego. And don't sit there thinking, but I'm just naturally talkative. No, being talkative doesn't give you a free pass to ignore other people. If you dominate every conversation without even asking a single meaningful question, you're not talkative, you're self-absorbed. Here's what you need to understand. The most magnetic people in the world aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who listen the best. Listening isn't just about shutting up while the other person speaks. It's about paying attention. It's about asking questions that show you actually care about what they're saying. And don't just ask surface level questions either. If the deepest thing you've ever asked someone is, "So, what do you do?" then, yeah, you've got work to do. You want to be remembered? You want people to walk away thinking, "Wow, I really like them." Then stop making it about you. Instead of trying to be interesting, try being interested. Stop worrying about being the funniest, smartest, or most charming person in the room. None of that matters if the other person feels ignored. And let's talk about your fake listening for a second. Yes, I see you, nodding your head, pretending to care, but secretly thinking about what you're going to say next. That's not listening, that's waiting. And people can tell. They can tell when you're not actually invested in the conversation. You know what happens then? They shut down, they stop sharing, and they definitely stop liking you. So here's the real question. Why do you feel the need to make everything about you? Is it insecurity? Are you so desperate for validation that you can't handle the spotlight being on someone else for 5 seconds? Because if that's the case, you've got bigger problems than just bad conversational skills. You need to figure out why your self-worth is tied to how much attention you can grab in a room. Spoiler alert, it's not a good look. But let me give you a little hack. You want to know the fastest way to become unforgettable in any conversation? Make the other person feel seen. Make them feel heard. Show them that you're not just talking at them, you're engaging with them. And no, this doesn't mean you have to fake interest or force yourself to care about things you don't. It means finding common ground, asking thoughtful questions, and actually listening to the answers. When someone shares something, don't just nod and move on. Dig deeper. Ask them how they felt about it, what they learned from it, or why it matters to them. And when you do respond, don't immediately shift the focus back to you. Build on what they have said. Show them you're paying attention. Show them you get it. And if you're still not convinced, let me put it this way. The people who make conversations all about themselves might get attention in the short term, but they rarely get respect. Nobody likes a one-sided conversation. Nobody enjoys feeling like they're just a prop in your personal performance. And nobody, absolutely nobody, walks away thinking, wow, I can't wait to talk to that self-centered person again. So stop. Stop making every interaction a showcase for your personality. Stop treating conversations like competitions where you have to win by talking the most. And stop assuming that people are impressed by your endless monologues. They're not. If you really want to connect with people, then here's the secret. It's not about what you say. It's about how you make them feel. Make them feel heard. Make them feel valued. Make them feel like they matter. Because in the end, that's what everyone wants. Not another story about your life, but a moment where they feel like they're actually part of yours. And if you can't give them that, then don't be surprised when they stop picking up the phone. Chapter 4. Why are your conversations so boring? Let me hit you with the hard truth. If your conversations are boring, it's your fault. Don't sit there acting like the people you're talking to are dull or uninterested. The problem isn't them, it's you. Your lack of effort, your safe, generic questions, your inability to spark any kind of meaningful connection, that's what's making your conversations flop. Let me guess, your go-to openers are, "So what do you do?" or "Where are you from?" Oh, revolutionary. Nothing screams, "I put zero effort into this interaction," like those cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all questions. They're predictable, they're surface level, and they're killing the vibe before it even gets started. It's no wonder people check out mid-conversation when you're treating them like an NPC in your social game. Here's the thing. Conversations aren't supposed to feel like interviews. If you're firing off question after question with no thought, no flow, no personality, then of course it's boring. Nobody wants to feel like they're filling out a survey when they're talking to you. And don't think throwing in the occasional, "Cool, tell me more," is saving you either. It's not engagement, it's laziness dressed up as interest. You know why people lose interest halfway through talking to you? Because you're not giving them a reason to care. Conversations are about energy. If you're not bringing any, the whole thing flatlines. You're too busy playing it safe, sticking to the script, afraid to be vulnerable, and terrified of saying something that might actually make the interaction memorable. Newsflash. Memorable doesn't mean perfect. Memorable means real. Here's how you fix it. First, stop asking the same boring questions you've been using since high school. Stop treating small talk like a checklist. Instead, listen to what the other person is actually saying. And I mean, really listen. Don't just nod along while planning your next question. Pick up on something they've said and run with it. If they mention they love hiking, don't just say, "Oh, that's cool." Ask them what's the wildest hike they've ever been on. Share your own story about the time you got lost in the woods or realized you hate nature. Whatever, just stop keeping it shallow. And here's a pro tip. Use the tangent hack. You know what that is? It's when you take something they've said, relate to it, and let the conversation flow naturally before moving on to something else. It's not rocket science, it's basic human connection, but that's not enough. If you want your conversations to actually stand out, you need to do more than just ask better questions. You need to get personal. Share something about yourself. Yes, I know, you're scared of being vulnerable because God forbid someone sees the real you. But let me tell you something. Vulnerability is magnetic. When you open up, it gives people permission to do the same. That's how you build trust. That's how you make people feel comfortable around you. And that's how you stop being the human equivalent of a cardboard cutout. And for the love of everything holy, remember details. Seriously, nothing makes someone feel more special than realizing you actually paid attention the last time you spoke. If they mentioned their dog, ask how the dog is doing. If they talked about a job interview, ask how it went. It's not hard, but it does require you to stop thinking about yourself for 5 seconds and actually give a damn about someone else. Now, some of you are probably sitting there thinking, "But I don't want to come across as nosy." Oh please, you're not nosy, you're boring. Asking someone about their life, their experiences, their passions, that's not invasive, it's engaging. What's invasive is forcing them to endure another round of, so what do you do for fun? If you're too afraid to dig deeper, you're never going to form any real connections. And let's be honest, half of you aren't boring because you don't know what to say. You're boring because you're too busy trying to protect your image. You're so scared of saying the wrong thing or looking stupid that you end up saying nothing. You're so focused on being polite and likable that you forget how to be interesting. Stop worrying about being perfect and start worrying about being authentic. Perfect is forgettable. Authentic is unforgettable. So, if you're tired of your conversations going nowhere, then it's time to stop playing it safe. Take a risk, be curious, be vulnerable, ask better questions, share better stories, and most importantly, stop making it about you. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember the questions you asked or the stories you told. They remember how you made them feel. Did you make them feel seen? Did you make them feel heard? Did you make them feel like this conversation was worth their time? If the answer is no, then congratulations. You've just wasted both of your time. So the next time you're talking to someone, don't just aim to keep the conversation alive. Aim to make it matter. Bring energy. Bring curiosity. Bring yourself. Anything less is just noise. Chapter 5. How do you actually get better at talking to people? Here's the cold, hard truth. You're not going to get better at talking to people by sitting on your ass, waiting for confidence to magically appear. It's not going to come from reading self-help books or watching motivational videos. It won't show up like a fairy godmother, granting you the ability to charm anyone you meet. It's not about hoping one day you'll be socially fluent or that someone will just hand you the social skills you need. No, you're going to have to work for it. Let me break this down for you in the simplest way possible. Confidence comes after action, not before. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I'll start talking to people once I feel more confident, let me tell you something. You're never going to feel confident until you start putting in the work. Confidence doesn't just appear out of thin air like some sort of social superpower. It's built over time, through practice, through actual experiences, especially the awkward ones. So stop waiting for that perfect moment when you feel ready. That moment isn't coming. Let me guess, you've been thinking about getting better at socializing for months, maybe even years. You've been obsessing over the idea of just being more confident and imagining how good it will feel when you finally have smooth, natural conversations. And yet, nothing happens. Why? Because you haven't done the one thing that matters, practice. And not the, I'll practice when I feel like it, kind of practice. I mean the kind of practice that pushes you past your comfort zone every damn day. Let's talk about the creepy DMs for a second, because some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're that person who watches people on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever, but you never reach out. You sit in the background, lurking, too scared to take action. Let me tell you, that's the problem. You're waiting for someone to reach out to you. Newsflash, socializing is not a spectator sport. Slide into someone's DMs and say something real, not a generic hey or hi, you look pretty. Try an actual meaningful compliment or question. Maybe ask them about their favorite book or what their weekend plans are. You're not going to die from a little vulnerability. The worst thing that can happen is they ignore you. And if they do, good. You've just learned something about yourself. It's a win either way. And let's not forget the one thing that some of you have been doing to sabotage yourselves for far too long, letting your subconscious mind run the show. You have negative beliefs that keep you locked in your little safe bubble of social anxiety. And guess what? You're letting it happen. If you find yourself thinking, I'm just not good at this, or nobody wants to talk to me, it's time to reprogram your brain. Yes, that's right. Record your affirmations. Tell yourself you're capable of engaging with people, that you can have interesting conversations, and that you can do this. It might sound cheesy to you, but it works. You need to stop being your own worst enemy and start becoming your biggest cheerleader. But you're not going to do that by staying stuck in your head. You need to act. If you're really serious about getting better, you have to stop making excuses for why you can't do it. Stop saying I'm shy like it's a permanent condition. Stop saying I don't know what to say like that's an acceptable excuse. Nobody cares about your excuses. They care about what you do with them, and if you keep hiding behind them, you're not going to get anywhere. You know what will get you somewhere? Effort, putting yourself out there. It's the only way. The truth is, you're not going to get better by waiting for some magical moment when everything clicks into place. You're going to get better by doing the work, by talking to strangers, making mistakes, being uncomfortable, and pushing yourself to grow. And once you start doing that, guess what happens? Confidence builds. It's a simple equation. More effort equals more skill. More skill equals more confidence. Stop making this more complicated than it needs to be. You don't have time to sit around dreaming of being good at conversations. Get off your ass, put yourself out there, and start talking to people. That's how you get better. It's not easy, but it's simple. Don't wait for confidence to show up. Make it show up. Every single time you make the choice to put in the work. So, are you ready to stop making excuses? Or are you going to sit there complaining while everyone else actually takes action and gets better at socializing? It's up to you. But, spoiler alert, if you keep waiting, you're just going to keep failing. Get moving. So, here's the deal. You've learned the hard truth. You're the only thing standing between you and the meaningful connections you keep pretending you want. No more blaming your introversion, no more hiding in your comfort zone, and absolutely no more thinking your conversations are just destined to be boring. It's time to put in the work. Now, I've got one last question for you. What's scarier to you? Getting uncomfortable and actually changing, or staying exactly where you are, stuck and frustrated for the rest of your life? Think about it. Because if you're not willing to step up and own your social skills, nothing is going to change. And if you've made it this far, you might as well go all in. So what are you waiting for?